Okay, so if you chose the very first pile, then you have chosen the Narcissistic Tarot and the Wild Unknown, which is based off of archetypes and somewhat based off of your nightmares. Okay, so let's take a moment here and see what we've got. So, under what's crossing you, we've got entitlement, and the Sun card. So it looks like what's crossing you is entitlement. Maybe there's somebody in your life who is stepping on your toes. It says entitlement is the expectation that one is entitled to some sort of special treatment, special benefits. They believe that their rules are for others, not for themselves. They bully people until they get what they want. All right, and this is by Dr. Romani, this information that I'm sharing with you. And what are we going to do about it, right? Well, this is the Sun card. And the Sun card is a very positive card. And I'm going to pull up the meaning real quick so that we can check out the archetype's meaning. So these are a little tiny bit different than your traditional tarot cards. They're based off of archetypes of Carl Jung. And I want to say that, the reviews on this deck were kind of rough. So if you are sensitive, then take this as a spoiler. This deck is kind of rough, and the Narcissist deck is very rough as well. But I feel like sometimes what you need to hear isn't always what you want to hear. So if you are strong, please stay till the end. Or if you want to be strong. Okay, so we're almost to the end here. The Sun card is almost the very, very last card. So in order to, let's see what it says. Okay, so the Sun card represents vitality and enlightenment. Imagine for a moment, let me see, I can read this to you. You can see me reading it. All right. Imagine for a moment that you're soaking in the warm rays of the sun, and it feels nourishing and healing, and all your aches and pains just fade away. The Sun card brings the amazing energy into your life. Vitality and health abound. While you feel assurance and clarity in all that you do, spend some extra time outside today. Be grateful for the radiance of the sun and the life force that it gives in all creatures. Okay, so literally this is talking about getting out in the sun and, seeing what there is that, maybe there's some flowers that are blooming, or maybe there's some snow that needs to be cleaned off of the front, depending on what part of the country you're in right now. Okay, so in the past, we've got conduct, we've got sociopathy. So you might have been dealing with somebody who was either a sociopath or acting like one. Someone cannot be born a sociopath. They become one. ADHD, series of ADD, symptoms, hyperactivity, and a lack of direction. These people struggle with patience, focus, and anxiety. So, anxiety sometimes, and comorbidity. Operational defiant disorder is called ODD, is cold and callous type of acts, and they enjoy negativity. They get pleasure from irritating others. This is from Tamara Hill, And the back here, I think, is from Dr. Romani. It says conduct disorder, CD, ADHD, and ODD. There's no regard for others, and they may have pyromania or have experienced some type of trauma. And this is back to their childhood. Like, they may have had some childhood issues, like a child that doesn't want to get help, and they can become a sociopath if they're struggling with these things and they really don't want to change. Then it can cause them to become a sociopath. Basically, drug abuse, narcissistic tendencies, and you can't cure a sociopath if they don't want to change. They only tell you what they want you to hear. It shows that when you're young, if you have a loving family that cares for you and not a harsh upbringing, someone who clearly cares about their children, takes care of them, shows them the love and affection that they need in order to grow, then they will most definitely change. But let's see what the tarot card says. We've got the Son of Cups, and this is the Son of Cups, and this is like SON. Son of Cups is representing like the artistic or introspective person in your life. All right. Let's see here if I can move this up a little bit. All right. Okay, so it is getting really hot in here. My camera just might keel over on me because it's getting kind of toasty. All right, we're going to try to move this around a hair. Maybe it won't turn off on me. Okay, so the Son of Cups. Like all of the Cups family, the Son truly excels within the arts. He usually is a musician or a visual artist of some kind, and he finds success within his field. His natural tendency to look inward adds to his charm and his mystique. To others, he may seem secretive and even peaceful, while deep inside he carries a dark kernel of intensity. All right, and the thing is, this doesn't have to be a man. It can be a woman. All right, so even though it says son and it's talking about a he, and it probably is more likely that, but it doesn't matter. Any of these cards could be a female or a male. It doesn't have to. Gender doesn't really play a role. Okay, so for your present situation, you may be dealing with personality disorders. Okay, and personality disorders root from childhood trauma or adulthood trauma. BPD and PTSD, as well as some traumatic events, can cause these things to come to light. All right, so continuous trauma, adapting to stress, formal PTSD, complex PTSD, and constant trauma. A total control by another person. Other people who are trying to control you can cause you to, fight that with every living being, every fiber of your being. You can't even help it. It's just natural. We are naturally meant to be free. Emotional dysregulation. Reliving traumatic events. Difficulties of self-perception. Disordered perception, fixation with an abuser. Revenge fantasies, isolation, the rescuer, and difficulties with one's system of meaning. They may be feeling hopeless or despair, and they may even have felt some type of physical or sexual abuse in their time that could cause these personality disorders to uproot. And this is from Dr. Fox on YouTube if you'd like to go check out their channel. And this is exactly the kind of nightmares that are depicted here, that one might have from being, abused. Okay, so this is definitely a very deep reading here. Let me take a look and see. All right, so this is the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is typically just, it's showing us on the traditional Nine of Swords. It shows just a lot of difficulty in carrying the burdens that you have. All right, so here it is, the picture in the book. Okay, and it says, an extremely dark card. The Nine of Swords reveals the deepest shadows of the self. It indicates insomnia, nightmares, and worries in the midnight hour. Often these states are accompanied by guilt, despair, and even depression. You'll be battling with yourself, so turn to others for help. Find joy, reach out. Okay, so I do feel very strongly that if you're struggling with something, you might feel like nobody else has any understanding of what you're going through. But in my lifetime, I found out when telling my friends my struggles that oftentimes their struggles were much, much harder than mine, and even sometimes enlightening whenever they are able to get it off of their chest, because they don't feel like they can tell anyone their personal issues that they, the traumas that they succeeded from. They don't want people to know their, and I've told a lot of people my personal deep, and some people will tease you about it. If you tell them your things that cause you PTSD, people have a tendency to think it's hilarious to poke and prod you with it. And I think it is bad. It's not a good idea to do that to people that you love. But when you do have people poking and prodding at your triggers, then you learn to overcome them faster. But it doesn't mean that you won't accidentally lash out when brought to the surface. So let's take a look at your immediate future. All right. Insidious maladaptive narcissist. Okay, so this one's pretty deep. It says adaptive is characterized by authority and self-sufficiency. Maladaptive is characterized by exploitativeness, entitlement, exhibitionism. We got a big B in here. Okay, and it might try to get me, y'all, so just bear with me if I get attacked. Diagnostic Statistical Manual. This is from the DSM. And this must be from Dr. Grande's page, because he is always talking about the DSM and quoting it. All right, one who saves the day, but they fail to tell everyone that they caused the problem. Grandiose narcissism. Okay, so superficial charm is these are some of the warning signs. Superficial charm, arrogance, self-confidence, a bold resistance to criticism, and optimistic. And then the vulnerable narcissist is resentful, hypersensitive, super sensitive, distrusting, socially awkward, defensive, pessimistic, having a lot of shame, unforgiving, and internalized anger. All right, so this is in your immediate future. You might be running into this person who has this type of issues that they're struggling with, or it could be you. The worst thing is when you're dealing with things that are this deep and heavy, a lot of people have no idea the kind of things that they're carrying around. All right, and it gives us the card is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune. All right, I really like this card. It's really pretty. So, in the traditional Rider-Waite, the Wheel of Fortune it's a wheel that spins around in circles, and the lady who was kind of expressing what the symbolism meant, she said that when you're at the center of the wheel, then everything around you, is going crazy, but you're okay because you're in the center. It's just like being at the center of the hurricane. But if you're standing out at the edge of the wheel, then you're more likely to get spun off. So the Wheel of Fortune is just that. You spin the wheel, and you don't really know if you're going to land on something good or something bad. But let's go ahead and read it. So this one is from the Archetype deck, which is the Wild Unknown Tarot. Destiny, change of course. Whether day or night, the Wheel of Fortune is always in motion. Some call it fate, others call it destiny. It's possible to go for months or years without feeling its presence, but when this card appears, the eye of the wheel is fixed upon you. Don't be surprised if there's a change of course headed your way. Something that you least expect. Whatever happens to you during this time, know that it is bringing you closer to your life's purpose. Okay, so I like the sound of that. Change is always for the good, all right? We should never become stagnant. We always want to deal with our demons as they come our way. Deal with those demons. Don't leave them on the back burner. Every now and then, it's okay to cry it out. It's even okay to turn on some music that makes you sad to force out that pain, because once you become used to it, when you become more able to deal with it, then it will be easier for you to move around and walk forward with confidence, knowing that you're not going to allow your past mistakes or past, traumas to stop you. You're going to move forward. All right. And that's how you do it. All right. So there's our first, the first pile. For the second pile, we have the feather deck. Absolutely love this deck. It is so awesome. And I'm just going to pause this for a minute and then I'll be right back.